Now, this next woman that you're about to meet would be the last person to ever call herself an inspiration. But that's exactly what she is, turning her own personal tragedy into a mission to save children.
It's an absolutely amazing story. Gretchen Holt-Witt's son Liam was just 2.5 years old when he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Well, when Gretchen found out that there wasn't enough money going into research for pediatric cancer, she took action with, of all things, cookies. Today, she's better as a woman who inspires. Take a look.
This is a picture of Liam and his sister Ella, and this is a picture done on March 1st of this year, so not too long after he passed away, that Ella did, that shows me and Ella and her daddy, and Liam is an angel up in the sky. But for Ella, she wrote that he looks happy, and that's the most important thing. When we got the news that he had stage 4 cancer, we were completely dumbfounded and shocked.
Gretchen Holt-Witt's son Liam lost his battle in January. He was just 6 years old.
Pediatric cancer is the #1 disease killer of children in the U.S. #1. It kills more children than asthma, AIDS, MS, and MD combined. And yet, nobody knows this. The worst statistic, though, is that it gets the short end of the funding stick. The thing that I have a hard time with is that Liam was not a 5-pack-a-day smoker. Liam didn't live a slovenly lifestyle. Liam didn't eat tons of sugar. Liam didn't eat tons of bacon. Liam didn't eat tons of anything. He was a child, and he had a whole life in front of him, an amazing life.
The summer Liam was diagnosed, Gretchen heard about a treatment, but there was no funding.
I felt so determined that we had to do something to give back, because if there was anything that we could do to help others, that was what we had to do. And so I said, you know what? I bet I could get my friends together and we could bake a lot of cookies and we could sell them and we could make money for this treatment. So I decided to make 96,000 cookies.
A daunting task for anyone.
I mean, anything seemed doable compared to having been through pediatric cancer treatment. Seeing my son through 5 rounds of high-dose chemo, seeing him through an 11.5-hour surgery, and then bringing him very slowly but very determinedly back to health. I mean, anything seems possible. Liam would never forgive me if I didn't do everything I could do to make it better. And so, well, trust me, I'd love to curl up in a ball and not keep going. I know I'll see him again. And when I see him, I know he's gonna ask me, Mommy, did you do everything you could? And I have to tell him, yes, I did. When I came up with the idea to do this, he was clean. People like to think I did this as a Hail Mary. You know, there was a treatment available and a desperate mother decided to do this Herculean thing to save her child. That was so not the case. He was clean, he was good, but I knew that there was something available, and I could never have lived with myself if I didn't do everything I could. And the more determined I was, the more people got on board, and they said, all right, well, if you're gonna do it, we're gonna join you.
More than 250 volunteers joined Gretchen in a tiny Brooklyn kitchen with no heat in the middle of December, where they wound up baking more than 100,000 cookies.
After the ovens cooled, we counted the money and it was over $420,000. We realized we had hit a nerve with people. And so we sat back, took a deep breath, and said, how do we take this concept and make it something that anybody can do anywhere? And so in September of 2008, we launched Cookies for Kids Cancer as a year-round organization. The concept, the basic concept is that you and your friends can gather in your community and hold an event. Now, our heritage is bake sales, and that's the thing that we are identified with. But honestly, the whole concept was to encourage people to be a good cookie, to do the right thing, to get involved. The children and what kids do so inspiring. They're just amazing.
Well, now people around the world are baking cookies, and in less than 3 years, Cookies for Kids Cancer has raised nearly $4 million.
We've funded more than 10 pediatric cancer trials or treatments. It's people who have no connection to me, no connection to pediatric cancer, who are now signing up to hold bake sales across the country.
The stories of many of these bake sale hosts, along with their fabulous recipes, are lovingly put together in a new book called Best Bake Sale Cookbook.
It's so much more than a cookbook, because inside there are all kinds of tips, things that we have learned over the years, not only with our own efforts, but from bake sale hosts across the country.
While it's Liam that inspires Gretchen's determination to make a difference, it is her hope that we will all work to make a difference for every child battling cancer.
While yes, he's my inspiration, I don't necessarily want him to be other people's inspiration, because it's not about Liam. It's not about his kind of pediatric cancer. It's about all kids everywhere and every kind of pediatric cancer, because they all get the short end of the funding stick. And while yes, my son is my inspiration and makes me very proud, it's children everywhere who we need to be thinking about.
And don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Gretchen Holt-Witt joins us in the studio to talk about her new book and her group, Cookies for Kids Cancer, and how you can get involved.